Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. The purpose of life is finding the largest burden that you can bear and bearing it. You're going to pay a price for every bloody thing you do and everything you don't do. You don't get to choose to not pay a price, you only get to choose which poison you're going to take. If you fulfill your obligations every day, you don't need to worry about the future. Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. To learn is to die voluntarily and be born again, in great ways and small. Work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. Don't let bullies get away with it. You should be humble enough to understand that you don't know enough about the world to let your suffering justify your resentment. Tell the truth. Or, at least, don't lie. Strengthen the individual. Start with yourself. Take care with yourself. Define who you are. Refine your personality. Choose your destination and articulate your being. The secret to your existence is right in front of you, and it manifests itself as all those things you know you should do but are avoiding. The successful among us delay gratification and bargain with the future. If you don't say what you think, then you kill your unborn self. Adopt responsibility for your own well-being, try to put your family together, try to serve your community, try to seek for eternal truth. It's in responsibility that most people find the meaning that sustains them through life. You cannot be protected from the things that frighten you and hurt you, but if you identify with the part of your being that is responsible for transformation, then you're always the equal, or more than the equal, of the things that frighten you. You can only find out what you actually believe, rather than what you think you believe, by watching how you act. The better ambitions have to do with the development of character and ability, rather than status and power. If you dare to do the most difficult thing you can conceptualize, your life will work out better than it will if you do anything else. You should do what other people do, unless you have a very good reason not to. It's better to do something badly than to not do it at all. Make friends with people who want the best for you. What you aim at determines what you see. Dialogue is the pathway to truth. Don't avoid something frightening if it stands in your way, and don't do unnecessarily dangerous things. You're not everything you could be, and you know it. Ideologies are substitutes for true knowledge, and ideologues are always dangerous when they come to power, because a simple-minded I-know-it-all approach is no match for the complexity of existence. Sometimes it seems the only people willing to give advice in a relativistic society are those with the least to offer. We deserve some respect. You deserve some respect. You are important to other people, as much as to yourself. You have some vital role to play in the unfolding destiny of the world. When you have something to say, silence is a lie. In the West, we have been withdrawing from our tradition, religion, and even nation-centered cultures, partly to decrease the danger of group conflict. But we are increasingly falling prey to the desperation of meaninglessness, and that is no improvement at all. If you don't stand your ground, then all that happens is people push you backward. You're not as nice as you think. And maybe you could be meaner than you think. The things that pose the greatest threats to your survival are the most real things. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. It's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful. Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. If you don't articulate your own values, your silence will result in them being overridden by those who are less careful. You might think, I can't be happy. Well, those are just excuses. Even if you have to let everything go, even if you have to start from scratch. Much of happiness is hope, no matter how deep the underworld in which that hope was conceived. Notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. The world is full of horrors, but sometimes you can have joy, too. To suffer terribly and to know yourself as the cause, that is hell. When you explore boldly, when you voluntarily confront the unknown, you gather information and build your renewed self out of that information. The truth is something that burns. It burns off dead wood, and people don't like having their dead wood burnt off, often because they are 95% dead wood. We're always negotiating with our past selves. It's not easy to organize your family, but if you can put together a functional family, then you've accomplished something absolutely remarkable. It's appropriate and praiseworthy to associate with people whose lives would be improved if they saw your life improve. There are some games you don't get to play unless you are all in.